what I'm going to share in this video allowed us to cut our cost per booked call from $1,300 to $130. Now, it took a little time and a bit of figuring out to find out what would work. But once we made the switch in our ads and our funnel, then the results were pretty awesome. So you can see on this beautiful spreadsheet that I have here, not my best spreadsheet. I usually have them a little bit neater than this. There's a lot of numbers everywhere, but you can see here that we made this client $244,000 in revenue, and that is at a ads ROAS of 6.02. And these are ads to cold traffic. Now, the cool thing is that this client is actually an agency. So they're selling an agency service. So we were running ads to help them get agency clients. And we only accounted in this spreadsheet for 3 months of revenue. So they sign up for initial 3-month contract. So in reality, obviously not all the clients will continue past the 3-month mark, but a majority will. So in reality, the actual revenue and money that we've made is much higher, and it could even potentially double if you took a 12-month view of that client, but we're only looking at the first 3 months for this one. So it was pretty awesome. So if we scroll back to the beginning, when we first started working with them, so the goal for this client was honestly only to sign around 2 clients per month, 2 to 3 clients per month from the ads. They were happy with that. Obviously, it's not like a high-ticket coaching offer where you can just kind of enroll as many clients as possible. They wanted to sustainably grow, and they knew that if they could just bring on an extra 2 to 3, because they're already getting some clients from their YouTube and their organic stuff. So they were happy that if we could just bring them an extra 2 to 3 clients per month, that would be a good deal for them. So that was kind of what our aim was. And you can see in the beginning for the first month, we only got 6 calls booked, but we got them booked for $188, which is pretty good for a niche high-ticket service like this. The second month, again, the cost per call went up to $322, but that was still okay. We were still happy with that because we knew that the way we set up the funnel, the people coming through, if they got on the call, would be super qualified. And you can see in the close rate here, once we got them on the phone, we were getting close rates of up to like 40%, which was good. So the second month, 322, not the worst result, but obviously it's gone higher. We got 9 calls booked, but we did sign 3 clients. So some of those sales would have come from the 6 that booked the month before. It was just a longer sales cycle. These guys typically didn't close on the first call. But either way, we're good. We're making the client money, which is nice. But obviously the problem is that there's an upward trend in the cost per call. And even though we were profitable and even though it's a high ticket agency service, so we were good from a profit numbers point of view. I didn't like the upward trend. I didn't like the cost per call getting more expensive. So and when we started off with like the regular, $100 million offers, have a big guarantee, we'll PayPal you $200 if it doesn't work, et cetera, et cetera. And, when we first launched the ads, it looked pretty good, but we did struggle. So we made some tweaks, we made some changes. But even though we were still making the client money, we couldn't really spend more money because the cost per call was just too high. It was, around here, about 700, 500. Then it went up to 1,000, down to 600, down to 500, looking good. But then it went up to 1,300. And look, we still made money in that month because we still closed 2 clients. So we still got them a 2 return on ad spend, which again is good. But it just kind of felt like we were getting a little lucky almost. Our close rate was really high. And again, that was because of the messaging and also the way we structured the funnel and the qualification process and just generally the niche that we were in. It's not like we were selling services to like a beginner type of business. So even though we were making money, I wasn't happy with the cost per call. So like I said, over those few months, we did try and test a few different things. We started, split testing the ads, trying even like testing different audiences, different types of offers, different types of guarantees. But we couldn't figure out, as you could see from the results, nothing was kind of sustainable. We would change something and then it would kind of work for a month, but then it would kind of shoot back up the cost per call. So, and I think that was our issue. We were just we were too zoomed in, and we were just thinking that, oh, if we just split test some of the ads, or if we just split test the landing page headline, we'll get more leads in. Or if we'll just split test the headline of the VSL video, or if we just split test the offer, change it from, I don't know, there's like 100 appointments to, 30 appointments a month to 60 appointments per month. Or if we changed it from, I don't know, we'll make you a 5x ROAS to a 10x ROAS. Is that going to improve? And it was like all these we were just changing like part of what we were doing versus actually approaching it in a different way. And it wasn't until we kind of took a step back after paying $1,300 for a call, which is obviously shit. That is not good. And, I don't want to run ads for a client where I'm getting them calls booked for $1,300. Again, even though we did close sales, but again, those 2 sales probably came from previous calls where there was a longer sales cycle. So we kind of sat down and basically looked at it and was like, right, we need a complete change in strategy, because the split test that we're doing inside of, this was Go High Level, it wasn't ClickFunnels, but the split test we were doing inside of Go High Level and the split test that we were doing inside the Ads Manager, they weren't working. And the problem is that the issue that we were facing and the challenge that we were facing, it didn't lie inside the Ads Manager. It didn't lie inside of a frigging split test inside of Go High Level. The approach that we were making was completely off. So we were focusing on results, guarantees. We even tested unique mechanisms, right? Because that's what all the direct response marketers tell you to focus on. But they didn't really work. And maybe I could have wrote them better. Maybe I could have been a better marketer. I don't know. But, I was still a pretty experienced marketer, and I just couldn't figure it out. So and a lot of that is because we were just using what worked in other industries for other clients and trying to we did this tweak here and that tweak here for this client. Maybe we can do the same for this one. But it wasn't until I actually looked at our actual end customer, so not our client, but our client's client, and who we were actually targeting, and actually did some deep research on them, their industry, because the industry was new to me. I hadn't marketed in that industry before. And the main thing that stuck out was that it is quite a niche market that we were going after, especially the segment of that market that we were going after. So there wasn't a huge, I suppose, not a ridiculous amount. It's not like we were selling to e-commerce businesses, for example, right? Where there's fucking hundreds of thousands of them. There was a small, really our market was small, which is why once we actually did get someone on the phone, the close rate was pretty high because we had a really good offer for, the right type of business owner. But in our market, because of it was so small and because it was so niche, it was kind of like an everyone knows everyone type of situation. And a lot of the big people in the space, they were extremely competitive with each other. So we actually leveraged that in our marketing because the angle that worked, and we tweaked it, and you can see that the month after we got it down to $120 cost per call. And you can see in that month specifically, we got a 15 ROAS, which is cool. We changed the whole messaging to basically be like, hey, you can beat your local competition. And that was the whole angle. And it wasn't even that. One of the best ads, and one of the reasons why I think it converted so well, is because obviously our client did have a bit of social proof. They'd already worked with a few big names in the industry. So when we plastered those names in our ads and on our landing pages, which is what we did in this month, that's when basically the whole thing took off. And you can see there that, again, as soon as we made those changes, it dropped the cost per call. And it went up a little bit further on. You can see here it went up to 268, but it went down to 149. So again, we had a lot more consistency than we had previously. And I think that's the thing. You can't sometimes when you look at say if we're up here and we're looking at these numbers, we can get very focused on, oh, I need to change the targeting, or maybe I change the headline in my ad, or I'll split test the headline on the landing page. But those only work if the actual core message behind all of those things is actually on point. If you don't have like the right angle or the right message or approach, then you can split test different offers, you can split test different headlines, different ads, different targeting options. Like none of that stuff actually matters. Like if you don't have a good angle, a good opportunity for the right market, and if you don't understand exactly what your market wants and actually what makes them tick, then just putting up, a headline of we'll get you, 20 clients in the next 60 days guaranteed or your money back, that isn't good enough. Just going out there and targeting e-commerce businesses and being like, we'll scale your brand to 100K per month with meta ads, or we'll give you a refund. Like that shit is so bland and untailored to actually what's going on in that industry. And if you really want your advertising and your messaging to stand out and for people to look at it and be like, oh shit, like this is the guy I want to hire. These are the people I want to pay money to. In order for you to do that, you need to understand your ideal client or your ideal customer on a really deep level. And you need to understand not only what are they feeling, thinking, what are the challenges, but also like what is just going on in their industry? What are the trends? What is happening? And it wasn't until we did that and actually spent some time understanding the industry and kind of like understanding what made these people tick. It wasn't until I understood that our marketing dramatically improved. We got consistency. And like I said, we made our client a decent return, I would say. 6 ROAS, couple of 100K in profit. Not a bad return. So yeah, I think a lot of the time, don't major in the minors of like, I need to test this or tweak that. Like typically if there's an issue, a lot of the problems lie outside of the ads manager. They lie outside of the go high level account. It's usually like a higher level tweak that you need to make to get the campaigns profitable.